Even the Boko Haram.
What went wrong?
What
went wrong in the casino?
In casino, where from both parties, anything can go wrong.
Has that government changed?
It has
It's not the same government that will fail in that negotiation or compliant to the agreements. Have they changed?
The Boko Haram don't bring that into this. You know why the Boko Haram?
But there's a thin line that differentiates Boko Haram from bandits.
Good.
Yes, I agree.
Good.
Because this one,
some of the band
have found themselves in Boko Haram.
Yes.
You know, I think that as much as we cannot, cross out the need to negotiate, we must make sure that we're negotiating from a strong point. We're negotiating from an upper hand. We're negotiating because we have pounded these people to the point where they know there's no escape. Okay, good. So we'll take it. We'll take this offer. But where it seems as if we're negotiating because they are pounding us and we can't seem to get any headway, of course they can begin to to take and make demands.
They can even dictate,
yes, that's what they dictate the terms. They take the terms.
And what
I mean, in Katsina, where we learned that they had the negotiations or the round table, and they bandits said, well, some of our men that you have, we've got to release them. And this is how we want to be able to go to the markets. This is how we want to do certain things. And they got, agreed to a certain level. And they were supposed to return certain weapons. They never did.
They won't.
They didn't. And last time I heard Masari speaking, he says that he was going to go through the forest and make sure that these weapons with these bandits are taken from them. But you see, the reason why that was able to happen is it seemed as if the bandits had the upper hand. We've dealt so much with the people in government because in the state it's like they're begging us, just stop, take whatever it is that you want. So they took what they wanted and didn't really relinquish on their own weapons. And they're back again doing what they can. So as much as we want to negotiate, because yes, there must be some escape route so that we don't escalate issues. We must, as a government, make sure that we're doing that with the terrorists, the bandits, the insurgents, or whoever is on the other end, understanding that as government, we're still superior and we have the upper hand. And that we're just trying to allow you this window so that you can come out of this with your lives. It doesn't all go well for me when at any time they attack, we're quick to go and say, let's negotiate. It just seems as if...
It's not done that way. See, Annie, what I'm saying is this. What you are saying is very greatly recognized. Now, the people, federal government, can we beat our chest and say, the federal government can overwhelm them? You don't have staff to come and overwhelm them. You don't.
It depends. There are times when we've said that federal government did try and they got, they were able to deal a blow on those people. So sometimes, and I think it's the resolve to do the right thing from the part of government.
That is it.
The resolve to do the right thing.
That's very simple.
Once they decide that this is what we do, we've seen them pound some of these bandits to a point where they actually do give up. Unfortunately, we are in a system where the units...
when there's fire burning on your hand.
We are in a system where the units, unfortunately, don't have that power to do much. And that is why, like Okon was talking about, the issue for true federalism has been one of the reasons Nigerians will keep proposing that. And one of the biggest thing for me is the level of insecurity. If right now governments don't understand that because of the level of insecurity in the land, that the very question that begs to be addressed is the issue of federalism and how security structure ought to be across the length and breadth of Nigeria, then we haven't even started having our conversation. It's 9:57. We're going to take a break. The news update comes up next. And when we come back, Real Talk.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
I am a proud Nigerian.
I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. The leader of the All Progressives Congress in Bielsa State, Dimitri Silva, says the deputy governorship candidate of his party, Degi Eremio, is contemplating suicide following the Supreme Court judgment that disqualified him and his governorship candidate, David Leon. The Minister of State for Petroleum made the claims when he appeared on a television program monitored from Port Harcourt. Silva said it was disheartening that the integrity which Eremio had built over the years was crumbled by the forgery. He also argued that Eremio was not given an opportunity to defend himself in the forgery allegation. The police in Taraba State have arrested the suspected child trafficker, Mary Yakubu, with 23 children. The children, who are between the ages of 4 and 7, comprise 14 boys and 9 girls. The police public relations officer in Taraba, David Misal, told reporters that the suspects were intercepted with the kids at the park in Bali local government area of the state while they were about to board a vehicle. Misal revealed that the recovered children have been handed over to the Ministry of Social Welfare in the state. In another development, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has met with some security heads at the presidential villa in Abuja. Reports say the agenda of the meeting was to review the report of the Presidential Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons. The committee reviewed the alleged influx of small arms and light weapons into Nigeria, especially through the nation's porous borders. Security chiefs who attended the meeting include the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongonu, and the Director General of National Intelligence Agency, Ahmed Rufai Abubakar. Controller General of Customs, Hamid Ali, was also at the meeting, while the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, sent in a representative. The National Orientation Agency, NOA, has called on residents and visitors in the state to remain calm and avoid panic as government has activated strategies to control and contain the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. River State Director of NOA, Young Ayatamuna, gave the assurance at the end of a one-day in-house enlightenment program aimed at sensitizing the agency's staff on basic preventive and personal hygiene tips against coronavirus. The NOA boss charged the public to disregard rumors and adopt a strict personal and environmental hygiene routine to prevent exposure to the virus. And now to the foreign scene, the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to once again review former President Barack Obama's signature healthcare law, the target of repeated political and legal challenges over the past decade. The top court, which had upheld the law in 2012 and 2015, will examine a suit brought by the Democrats seeking to counter lower court rulings that put in question the law's constitutionality. The 9 justices will hear arguments in the case sometime in the fall and reach a decision in 2021 after the U.S. elections in November, in which healthcare is a major issue. Enacted in 2010, the Affordable Care Act is one of the most ambitious in the history of U.S. healthcare system. In its original form, it required Americans to buy health insurance or face a financial penalty. The law enabled some 20 million previously uninsured Americans to become insured in a country where the cost of medical care is extremely high. And that wraps the news update here on Today 95.1 FM. Thank you for listening. To have a lovely morning.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
This president's failed.
It's about the future of this country.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
You asked us to vote you into that position so you can bring about that
solution.
So when you vote me, then you sleep.
Let me see if I can take another phone call. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
What makes a policeman to be able to feed is the gun he's holding. They use their gun to extort money from people.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
No longer news that we are truly the voice of the people.
Am I not a slave in Nigeria?
I refuse if you are. If
you're a slave. Let's not get to that now. So the Nigerian Rob is philosophical.
You spot the difference now? We hear those words every day. Never lie, cheat, steal, or drink.
What?
If you must lie in the hands of the one you love. If you must steal away from bad company. If you must cheat, death.
And if you must drink in the moments that take your breath away. Remember, happiness is free. Don't be a fool. Proudly brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekday. Fantastic.
Real talk.
Real talk.
But
It is we that is supposed to push the followers.
Today 95.1 FM, we bring you insights, intrigues, and happenings on the local politics of the Niger Delta.
But if that property you have somewhere worth that 1 billion is tied to a fraud of state money, if you can prove it's your personal money, you didn't commit any crime.
Join us every weekday, 9:45 a.m. to 11 a.m. Real talk. Real.
It's 7 minutes after 10 and you're still listening to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. We're moving on now to Real Talk after wrapping up on the issue of insecurity. Erifai apologizing to the people of Kerewa, Zariawa and Igabi. And then now we'll come down to Delta, the Niger Delta. We're looking particularly at State. In the news a couple of days back was a story on the governor of River State who was going around the sites where he had bridges been built, did speak on perhaps a fourth bridge. Let me just read that story real quickly and bring us to the same page. It says here that River State Governor Nyesom Wike has inspected the possible location for the 4th flyover bridge under consideration to ease traffic flow in the state. Governor Wike went on the inspection alongside the State Commissioner for Works, Austin Benchoma, senior engineers of the State Ministry of Works and Project Engineers of Julius Berger Nigeria PLC. The governor told newsmen that the final decision will be taken in a short time. He, however, said the government's residential area GRA Junction is a site in consideration for the 4th bridge. He also inspected the urban renewal program in Port Harcourt and the news continues, but particularly that the GRA Junction might be the spot for the next bridge. And that has caused several conversations as to, well, the traffic issue in River State, the congestion in Port Harcourt itself, and how we need to open up River State. I remember prior, was it? Yes, before this government, during one of the gubernatorial debates that they had, one of the candidates at that time spoke about how what he would do was have different ministries at different local governments. I think I remember that argument. And he says this was in a bid to open up River State and that the concentration leaves Port Harcourt City as there was too much to bear for the center here. A lot of people felt that, okay, even if that candidate didn't win, this was an idea that the present governor could adopt because there is a dire need to open up the center. I was following a couple of arguments on this, and one of such fellows that I followed was Mr. Eugene Abels from Extra Step Initiative. Good to have you here. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Annie.
All right. And I saw several of the proposals you brought up and how you tried to lead that conversation along those lines. I'll particularly start with asking, before I get to Emmanuel, usually I start with Emmanuel, but let me just jump it this way today, man. What for you why is there a need, first of all, let me start, why is there a need to move away the concentration of people and activities from Port Harcourt? Do you think it's too much? Do you think that's too much for the city?
Port Harcourt is about 110 years old, and if you look at the way things are, why are we still depending on those things that were created by our forebears? We've not added value in real terms. Yes, currently as it stands, if you do a comparative analysis, they created D-Line, which is Diob Line. They created my 1, my 2, my 3. They're planned. The town axis is planned. The new layout part of town is planned. Old GRA. So what are we doing? We keep balkanizing those places because everybody wants to have a portion. The standard portion of land in GRA, old GRA, Amadi Fly 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 is about 3,500 square meters. But with balkanized, so more people have come in without providing amenities to support them. I would have thought that a state that has seen in the last 10 years have received in excess of 7 trillion naira should by now have a new town. And like create your own GRAs. There's supposed to be GRA phase 5 by your junction here to Brikwere.
They're supposed to be not that part of Greater Port Harcourt.
Yes, it didn't move on. Now the that hasn't started, but the present administration obviously is not following it up. Yeah, so the town is choking, and you can see that's why you invested so much on a bridge, on bridges. Yeah, so but the simple things you could do. We need town, Port Harcourt needs to ventilate, and I think it is not nice that we're still a one city state now.
All right. Okay. I got your thoughts on that. Emmanuel, to you now, which is the key here. Do you see River State as a one city state, that everything about it is Port Harcourt, really? There's nothing happening anywhere else? And is that not the norm with so many other states? Is everything not just, the state's capital?
Yeah. Yes, in terms of one city state. River State is completely a one city state. Even governments of River State should know about that. I remember vividly when there was a campaign, what's his name? Prince Will. No, Prince Will.
Okay, Prince Will.
And the current governor plus one other person, I can't remember, I think Dakuku or whoever. Now, Prince Will reminded Port Harcourt residents that River State should be either about 3 cities, open up Ahoda, open up one other place, I can't remember, but then he mentioned Ahoda. And I also heard that during the time that River State was planned, that Ahoda was made like a district that should be opened up and some other places. But everything is now concentrated in Port Harcourt. However, I do not think that because Port Harcourt, everything is concentrated in Port Harcourt, should bar the current government from building that flyover if they wish in GRA. They can still do that and embark on that project of opening up other towns to make Port Harcourt no longer one city state, but with many city states.
Oh, okay. So how will they open up other towns if the bridge?
And just to add to him, add to him. He was trying to describe something. There's an industrial, we have Transformer industrial area. Good. We have that Ahoda own. And Omako, because of energy, they've had free power for that. It's supposed to form the rest. And I also want to add to what he had said. When the state was created, we had 10 divisions.
Yeah.
And telephone was a big thing. Each of these divisions had a telephone line. There was a deliberate plan.
Good.
For instance, the Bonny Road you're celebrating today was first, it started, the thought of it came up in 1952. So there's nothing new were added. Yeah.
So what I was saying, you see, that particular achievement of maybe building the flyover at GRA Junction should still go ahead if government wish to embark on such. Yet that of opening other cities can also. Then you ask a second question.
I'm going to ask that question, but I know that question will take me somewhere else, and I'm not willing to go there at the moment. I'll come back. Let me get to Dr. Olulu. Dr. Olulu, what are your thoughts here when we're looking at one city state, and if indeed you agree that we're choked up in Port Harcourt? Do you think so?
River State is a one city state today.
Is that any different from any other state? I mean, is it different
quite
from...
different from other states. Now, in Delta State, you know the number of cities we have. We have the state capital, we have Warri, we have Ugiri, so forth and so on. If you go to Abia, you have Aba, you have Omakia, and other.
If you go to
Owerri, you have Owerri, you have Okigwe, you have so much.
Really, I thought Imo was just Owerri. There's Okigwe.
No, that's Okigwe. Now, especially the states, they were created in 1967 along with River State. A lot of those states have other cities. And so, when this government came in, some of us were part of the mission and visions. We were part of the people that crafted the mission and visions of this government. And this idea of having other cities in River State was one of our recommendations. And of course, when we were working in that team, somebody said that this one will not work.
Having other cities, why?
Yeah, somebody said that this one will not work. I said, why? Okay, it depends. Okay, you put it. As if the person knew that this is what is going to happen. Honestly. And so what I see in River State today is like individual and small group interest has overtaken the larger.
So are you saying that this is intentional?
It is.
Well, what's the benefit? What's the benefit if it's intentional?
It's intentional. There are other things we put in there that all the local government or most local governments state roads should be dualized. These are some of the things we put in place, but nobody's looking at all those things, and everything is concentrated in Port Harcourt. Now, Port Harcourt, we are not even expanding it. That's the problem. If it were one state and we're expanding it, I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying. But today we are not even expanding it. Port Harcourt have been there since 1997, but it has not gone beyond Choba Bridge. What are we talking about? And nobody is saying what is happening. Everything is being built inside just one spot, and nobody's seen anything wrong in it. I know 8 years is a small period of time in the life of a state, but we should please once for once put our individual and small interest behind and see the corporate and larger interest.
All right, got your thoughts.
Ahoda is there, Degema is there, Bori is there, and nobody's looking at it.
All right,
but one thing will happen tomorrow if another person, because that's how it happened. today the rain falls on your path, it will upon the other person's side the other day. If somebody enters tomorrow and begin to tell you that you should come to Bori or you should come to Degema and literally transfer the headquarters to Degema or Bori, nobody should complain.
Miranda Lulu, we got your thoughts there. That is Honorable Jerome.
Yeah, obviously, Boli and Degema are not the only cities that need to be developed.
How is there?
I am from Oche. Okay, too is there.
I was just waiting because I know
because,
the
when you mentioned that, I wanted you to give a comprehensive analysis.
No,
so you are also limiting some other areas. You understand?
Not
So to a great extent, I think River State has not grown beyond Port Harcourt. That's true. But recently, when the Eche people visited, the Obake visited His Excellency, he promised that he was going to move some faculties of the River State University to Eche, and that will also encourage movement, because the only way to achieve this decentralization is to ensure that some ministries or parastatals are moved out of River State, out of Port Harcourt, and some faculties of the universities, because when you take a chunk aspect of faculties from the Port Harcourt here to any other region, you would also see concentration, because lecturers will go there to settle, students will go there to settle, and that will take away some persons. So also, if you move away some ministers from Port Harcourt to build them in some other areas, and I will also suggest that okay, it's quite central. That's my own locality too. Why are developing Boli, Degem, and the rest of them? Ahoda, and it should be inclusive, and other areas, because if you get to Maya, you see majorly Aba. It's a city. It's a town with a lot of construction, and Omaya is also in existence, and like some other areas, but that is not so much so in River State. But that wouldn't make anybody to say that the state the good thinking of the state government to build bridge to ensure that congestion is reduced or traffic is ameliorated is not worthwhile. Why that is going on? The government should also begin to think like the governor has already promised to move away some faculties to Eche.
He also promised to move some faculties to Ahoda.
A moment. I think the question arises from the fact that you need to build a bridge to decongest Port Harcourt.
Yes.
So that means there is a problem of congestion in Port Harcourt.
To reduce traffic jams, yes.
It's congestion. So why don't you find lasting solutions to the decongestion itself, which in other words means opening up at least the towns within that surrounds Port Harcourt, so that you have more people who will actually live in those places, and perhaps just, if they have business to do in Port Harcourt, shuttle to Port Harcourt and back.
Let me help
other than just a bridge at the GRA junction.
No, the bridge in other cities too.
We already have 3 going on.
Yes. It's a material. If you discover that there should be a bridge at a particular point, which will also enhance traffic, enhance the movement of people and decongest people. There's nothing wrong in that. Can that stop the permanent movement of ministries?
Well, because we haven't even seen the move of ministries. We haven't seen any of that happen.
Yes.
So we're suggesting that would have been more appropriate. You already have 3 bridges ongoing. If you're moving the ministries and all of that, it will make a whole more rounded.
Let me just come in first of all. First of all, information available to me, and I said that if Wike does anything I like, I will wash his official car publicly. So I posted it on Facebook this morning. I heard that the road digitalization on Tombia Street will connect direct to Adda George and hit Stadium Road. Awesome. So I can forgive that bridge at
Jerry
Junction. Now, but in terms of economies of scale, if I had my way, I will point at 2 projects to you people. Silver Valley is an artificial hill. They dug it out of Silver Valley. That valley is there. So the real bridge there is less than 10 meters. Because so that the rail can pass underneath it. That St. John's you see there, there was no hill there. It's a man-made hill.
Okay.
I also take you to Maryland bus stop. If you're coming from Bagada, you want to go to Maryland to cross that. It's an 8-lane road now. You want to cross it. It's just a short bridge, but you won't notice it that you're climbing a bridge because it's a man-made hill. You just go down, climb it, because people applied economies of scale and saved lots of money instead of the gigantic flyovers like the one you have in Ajip I will have just gone under. If you go to where Rochas did a similar thing like that, you understand? Those are short because why are you building a bridge at Jerry Junction? Because you need the dualization you're doing to cross the Aba Expressway. But I can go under the road. I can go, it's cheaper. I can go under the road. The only thing that will cost me some money is to ensure a pressure drain there to ensure that it doesn't flood. Yes, because it's short, it's open, and I just go under the road. It's cheaper for us. But people like signature project, and instead of the money to go somewhere else, just build it. We'll keep it. You won't take it away. No problem. Now, concerning the issue of the congestion, the congestion, another road project that wants me, that I said I'll wash his car.
Yeah.
If you're coming from the airport on the old Aba Road, Airport Road, you know that Lubric has just expanded. They've done some because under Amechi, I had insisted that we must begin to provide service lanes. I campaigned for it, campaigned for Elias to create service. Without service lanes, it means that everything you see will be done on that road. That's why Abuja looks different. No major road in Abuja can you access directly. You must go through a service lane before you access it. When they were doing Aba Road, they had to bring the houses. There were no cars to drive on those service lanes. Imagine that we didn't have Aba Road. What would have happened to Port Harcourt? Yeah, so, but lovingly, the government is expanding the road from airport all the way to Borough Park. Yeah, they're expanding it. Lovely. So I'm watching Wike's car. The day he tells me, publicly I'll watch it. Yeah.
I wonder when you see him to watch it.
Yes, in terms of the congestion, like Annie was trying to hint at, I have been campaigning. When River State was created, a lot of the communities were riverine in nature. Today, the Kalabari areas are no longer riverine. Okrika is no longer riverine because you can access them by road. Leave the political connotation about it. And I'm saying we can take it to the next level. We might campaign over 10 years. Just for Aba Road is about 10 kilometers from Borough Park to Oil Mill. We already have like Oil Mill. We have Oil Mill bridge there. Oil Mill.
Yes.
We have at Artillery. We're having at Jerry Junction. We're having at Garrison. We have at CFC. We have at Borough Park. What a privileged road. I am saying, just look small to your right. Let's expand that Bloma Road to the jetty. Go to the left side and drop me a bridge over that Kalio Creek. All of Creek are people who have houses. Those in George, Kalio, Okujagu, Ndubisi, Okochiri, Eleme, people in Noah, and some people in Ogu will pack to their houses in the village because they can come to Today FM, drink a bottle of beer here, and in 30 minutes they're back home from the center of the city. I've also suggested that we provide service lanes on that Iwofe Road. Iwofe deserves it because that's the first community now, because that's where the governor comes from. We dualize that, we provide service lane all the way to the river and run a bridge over it. We have demystified bridge building.
Yeah.
All the Emoha people, Tombia people, Harristown, Abalama, Edo, Buguma, Degema, and Abonima people who have houses there, we move to their houses and they have power. Then those on the Iba corridor know that they can sit down with you in Spa, drink a beer. By 8 p.m., they drive comfort, they climb the bridge, they take through in German, say, come out. Yes, am I wrong? Have I missed it? No, they come out, back. 20 minutes, they are back home. So you automatically decongest the city. If more people move into those areas, it is difficult for people to commit crime because you have more people to contend with. These are simple things we can do.
Speaking about the area of East, it's difficult to commit crimes. I know one of the reasons why we have a lot of people who left, I don't know what to call it, hinterlands now, but who left their local governments and communities and came here will be issue of insecurity and kidnapping. Now, even with the roads opened up or access to these places now, do you still think that a lot of people are willing to go back there, seeing that these are issues that are still prevalent?
Yeah, because first of all, the cost of living. Yeah, I have a beautiful house in Abonima. There's power there. Why will I live in Job?
Kidnapping. Issues of kidnapping.
Initially, it will look that way, but when more people come and see that, you're looking at you, you're fresh, you're home, you're just like it's home. If I will remind you that not too long ago, Ekpe Lekki was seen as Ekpe, except in all the local governments in Lagos, was seen as Ekpe. But today you have Lekki, we drive almost 60 kilometers, 70 kilometers. They're hooking up to Ijebu-Ode.
Yeah.
Everything is still called Lagos. Yeah. Initially, it will look unattractive. Once you open it and the road is good, I bet you more people, because it was difficult for us to build houses in the past. Lots of houses have been built. They are not occupied. So even if I open that road, and it means that if I'm going to Ahoda, I'll get there fast. I just bypass the Choba traffic. I'm already at Moha Junction. I'm going. Yeah. So it is just. I'm begging we can watch the second car.
Or the fourth.
Just two more.
As it is nice.
Two more bridges. One on the right, one on the left.
You're heading to the third car. All right. Emmanuel, of course, part of the issues with living communities and coming here had been insecurity. Another, again, is business. A lot of people will say that one of the problems with River State is finding something meaningful to engage in. So how do we tackle that with expanding the city from just a Port Harcourt city to other cities? How does that tackle employment?
Well, I say it's tackled in the form that, for instance, when you look at opening up other cities, which is maybe connecting Port Harcourt by way of, like Mr. Abel suggested. Now, I think, first of all, it will bring a lot of people from Port Harcourt out, and may also eventually take people into Port Harcourt. And in terms of employment, that's one thing I always tell government. It's not, for instance, the capital city that can host other industries and all that. If, for instance, anything is happening in Ahoda, establishments are springing up there, people automatically will be gainfully employed. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know, maybe in politics, there are some reasons why you see some interest invested in one city, and like Port Harcourt. Maybe in politics, I underline that. But I tell you, it is just a simple arithmetic that any place that you see road, you also see maybe there's access to get all those places. You see employment come on, spring up, because buildings will start springing up. Right now, like Mr. Ebel was saying, certain people may look at areas that are inaccessible to build houses there. What's the essence of going to build a dormant house there? So they will just maybe struggle and come back to the already saturated place and build, because that's where people are. But if you open up and they go there, houses start springing up there. What is it? Employment and all the rest of them. Every other thing will take off.
All right, Dr. Lulu.
Well, like Mr. Best said, if you build a bridge down across the Choba River, and then from there you can access all that, then you have started expanding the city. And now, if you expand the city and a lot of people now live in the hinterland, then you find out that a lot of them will have, because when we talk of employment shouldn't be only at the secretariat or government employment. Agriculture, small scale, retail, so forth and so on. Now, like agriculture, you can do it better in the hinterland than in the town. So a lot of persons in town here they are suffering. But if they were in their local areas, they won't suffer. So there is need to expand Port Harcourt. There is need to open up new cities in River State. Now, if that had been the original plan of River State, that is just like we come with our new leaders. They are not looking at our old papers. Structures. How River State is supposed to be. Right now, we think of somebody who will come, or even the person on the seat will look at the old plans. That is fifth time how River State is supposed to be. Right now, River State is Port Harcourt is congested. It's not even expanding, and whatever we're doing. How many bridges are we going to build more? That is the question.
All right, let me get to you on
I like the way it ended.
Honorable Jerome, he mentioned something about the River State plan. I don't know whether there's a blueprint or something, but there must have been an agenda.
We always had.
Okay, good. So over the years, it seems as if successive governments have either derailed, didn't stick to the plan, or one thing or the other. How do we get, is there a possibility that there's a reversal, that we get that document working for us?
Definitely, if anybody wishes to look at the original plan, what does it take? You set up a committee to look at it and see how that can be implemented. Because definitely the only way to achieving the congestion is to move away certain things from Port Harcourt. And then if that is done, employment is definitely created. You don't need anybody to begin to think about it, because apart from when you move away, you develop. If you construct roads and bring electricity, there will be splinter developments in terms of barbering saloon, other forms of retail services, and even hostel services. Now, there will be already made market for farm produce, and that will engender an increased method of farming. Farming can be mechanized because the market is there. The struggle, because when the farm produce, the prices rise, people will begin to be encouraged to go into farming. Rather than if you come to my village, you see people struggling. Vehicles are coming to load plantain and the rest of them, cassava, back to Port Harcourt. But these things, if the people are already settled there, it will increase the price and agriculture will be enhanced, and that will provide a great employment. So if anybody wants to develop River State and want to look at the original plan, is to set up a committee to first of all ask, where is this plan?
So the idea is, if you choose to, so you can ignore the plan, right?
Yes, we are saying that successive government up to now has abandoned it. It's not because of choice. Government, what is a plan? It's what government chooses to do or not to do.
Which is my worry here, is that with the plan, is it a thing of choice that with my government, I will decide not to stick to the plan, as it were? Is it something that governments have a choice?
Well,
or should we as a people begin to demand that there's no choice here?
No, ordinarily, I have said in several fora that the government of Nigeria, the government of any state, including wherever, is not people-oriented. Have I not been saying it? It's elites. So you see, whatever the elites decide to do is what they do. So if you assume office and you choose to do this, the workforce, the pressure group is quite less in this part of the world. In virtually all states in the third world nation, you do not see that level of agitation which we witness in the Western world taking place here. So even when government is docile, when government is inactive, not much is being done in terms of agitation from the people. So at that point in time, it's what the government intends to do, because even the programs of the party sometimes are not implemented. So what are we talking about? If we begin to shy away from the fact that what government does not choose to do is what will happen. No, it's the people who are within the aims of affairs. Their program is their actions will determine the actual events that will take place. So we need to see how we can go back to the original plan by looking at the committee and then decentralize Port Harcourt so that congestion can be reduced. But what my contention is that wouldn't stop anybody saying, I want to build bridge or I want to do a certain area. Because if we prioritize all these things, you take them stage by stage.
Right.
So for us, there's congestion, and then if bridge can enhance traffic, it's a good plan.
All right. Iman, I'll get to you. Okay, go ahead. So I can.
You see, for me, I think it's only Lagos that has managed to continue successive governments take on a plan to actualize the Lagos dream. You see, all these other states don't. It is at the interest, whatever the chief executive of the state.
You mean Abia State didn't?
I said all the states.
Abia State is a failed state.
I need to ask him about
bad road everywhere.
You see, what the governor wants is what happens. It will be wrong to say government. What the governor wants is what happens. But in Lagos, it looks like they have that dream, and all of them are tied to that dream, and so they want to actualize that dream.
How does that work for Lagos, and why is it not something that can work with other states? How can't we have that sort of dream that Lagos seems to be enjoying, if that's the truth, here in River State?
If you want to know, no matter how popular you are as a governor in Lagos State, just allow potholes to be on Western Avenue.
Instead of criticism now.
Just allow potholes. I'm not calling it that street, Western Avenue. Then you see how popular you become.
The reaction.
Remember
That's
the third
good.
calling, the
That's
third
what I'm
calling
saying.
Sawolu pointing governor.
Yes, because all he does is point.
When Sawolo, before he assumed office, I read in one of his tweets where his concern was how to travel to London School of Economics to study what to do. He was beginning to think of how to perform better than the former governor.
Ambode.
Yes, Ambode. But is that the same in other states?
It's time to act. You saw him in medical suit.
You see how I don't know if you get the point I'm
at
saying.
the quarantine center.
Because they have set standard and they are beginning to say, look, my concern is, can I be able to meet up with this standard? Do you see that in other states?
No.
You saw them I saw them at the secured laboratory. You saw him at
The
secured laboratory to quarantine people. Why River State didn't have, after weeks of shouting, don't have a commissioner for health.
Well, I mean, recently, as of yesterday, I understand that about names have been released for commissioner nominees.
You know, we're a spiritual state, so we're allowed.
People get
Again, I think it's the quality of governor or leadership at that level. The quality. If you look at Lagos State, from Jakande to date, these are people not just qualified academically, they have been in other industry. You understand?
It's not just
when you
about
take
that.
the Lagos model, really, I'm sorry to interrupt here. You're really, amazed as to how they were able to do what they did. You mentioned, you mentioned Festac. People can live in Festac and remain in Festac. You have that happen with Surulere. You have that happen with Keza.
Let me even bust that butthole. Lagos has 21 million people, isn't it?
Yes.
Now out of the 21 million.
21 million.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. That's the way where
That's
you
what
have,
they said.
because for revenue purposes, they captured every building. GIS will give you now. Right now, Ross Alabot, they're flying over.
They're flying over Lagos, yeah.
To capture data, yeah. They're in Accra. That is was Accra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that one was in Accra.
Yes.
But they're coming to Lagos.
Probably. They're doing for Africa. So, it's not rocket science. That's why Satan has applied to leave Nigeria. Because people are a nation of liars. Everything,
Can Satan leave?
He can leave.
He
because
can.
You don't need to waste resources on things you
that happens naturally.
That they will do for you. The people will lie for you, do everything for you, so it don't need to happen. Now, if you're flying into Lagos, as you're approaching to land, look on your right. You see the Lagos they don't show to you, where the 20 million people live. Yes, the Yanikpajas and so on. Yeah, the new areas on paved road and so. But they're deliberate in the information they put out. Because I don't think they have that amount of resources to sort all their problems. But you can see signature things like the new Lagos port, new Lagos airport, Fort Mainland Bridge, the new areas which they are creating. So when you begin to put out this kind of deliberate conversations, you begin to sell the Lagos. That's why we keep referencing
I believe,
it. Yeah.
No, I believe there's a lot of squalor when you come to Lagos. There's so many people who are not captured with where the
Lagos
that we see. I believe so.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to talk about was the fact that you have places that are fully developed where people can actually. I know some people
was the deliberate movement. Yeah, because Lagos.
That is why. And if they had a map, we had a map here in River State.
Yeah.
So how come we don't have a deliberate movement?
Let me give you an example.
Why are the people also quiet about this lack of deliberate move to
the people are the Rivers people are docile.
That's what I said that now.
So if you like, bring a professor. If you like, bring the head of United Nations to run River State. People are more interested in how he will see me. People are docile. People have gotten to the point that people in River State don't. I'm sorry, they will feel some people don't reason. Most people don't reason anymore. So people don't understand. They say, "Well, I leave them and only you day," and because people don't understand that this is their money. This is their.
I think so.
You're working for me. I employed you. You need to tell me what your plan is. Where are you taking me to? Because every action you take eventually affects me. But people are not. We are no longer.
I think they don't understand that it's their money.
Yes, they don't even think. The people have been pushed to the point that they don't even reason that way anymore. And either they see you for or against. They're our side there. So because people are no longer thinking and that it is their duty of the community to act as a feedback mechanism to measure a person and say, if you notice, they don't even talk to the local government chairman. They don't even mention them because they just think that that's a no-go area.
And it is so
forbidden.
Unfair.
Yeah,
I've been here for a while, and I know how some active local governments have been before. There's really not much in the sense where you have
not now.
And not now.
There was a time where the state governor was in NRC, National Republican Party, and the local government chairman of Falga was in the Social Democratic Party. There was competition. The man, Dr. What was that his name? He was competing with the state in terms of doing projects to say, look,
the developments within his area.
Exactly.
No. See, River State. I mean, in the last 5 years, the opposition pointing out that is when it collapsed finally. If not, during
collapse finally.
Yeah, collapsed finally in the last 5 years. Nobody, there's no voice.
In the local government.
No voice telling the local government chairman, this is what you are doing, and of course, we also know that the local government chairmen are incapacitated. All of us, we know that. Today, the local government chairman in River State are incapacitated. I don't want to explain that, but everybody knows.
No, you can't say everybody knows. You can say you know.
Oh, okay,
I know. You're the one, yes.
Because if the local government chairman don't hold money, what can they do? And we all know that.
But they're not holding money.
Because
I didn't know they get their money.
Maybe you can do an investigation.
Now.
Yes, you can do an investigation.
But direct
payments.
I think for June. The
to local government accounts.
Yeah, we are saying it here, but if you go close, are they actually getting it?
I don't understand. It's directly paid into their account.
It's paid into the account. Are you saying that?
I said they directly use it too. Are you sure? So
the keyword there is direct.
Direct.
And then directly receive and then directly utilize it.
These are the issues. So in River State today, in the last 5-6 years, no competition. I think there's no sufficient competition.
We over-invested in partisan politics.
I think so too. And it's for me, it's such a shame.
Paying dearly for
there's so much that we could have achieved. Just yesterday was when we got the second list for the commissioner nominees. When this issue of coronavirus popped up, and then we're talking, and I was asking somebody should go to the Ministry of Health, and they were like, oh, but there's no commissioner for health. I was like, well, we'll have to speak to the PAM. We have to speak to the PAMSEC. So
they had an acting PAMSEC.
We have to get to the person who is in charge then and speak to.
But I'm happy that the former commissioner for health is coming back.
It is a shame if these units are not empowered enough to take charge of their different domains.
I even hear that the River State contingent is not yet in camp. Sports Festival comes on the 20th of March. National Sports Festival.
It's a shame. But my area is also coming back. So maybe
he will now
do what he needs to do. But in any which case, let's get back to local governments. If the local governments are not empowered in the sense where they can do what they need to do, then you will definitely find a river state where everything is concentrated in Port Harcourt.
Annie, you take this blame today now.
I will.
Let me just say this now. River State is made up of 14 ethnic nationalities or more. Yes, this morning I was watching AIT, the Super Deck. That's the Delta State version of NDDC. And they were explaining deliberately how the revenue is being shared. And I think that it is time for the oil producing communities, any community that hosts any form of oil facility, to begin to make a deliberate demand for the state government to send a portion of that money to be expended in their community. Good. The reason is this. In the next 10 years, oil will no longer be fashionable. So they will be left with the consequences of 60 years of oil business. It is time. The Boni people, the Bani people, the Ogoni people, the Egi people, the Ahoda people, the Omuma people, all those who have, it is time to ask questions. It's not a spiritual matter. Because we are not asking, everybody is afraid. That's why the same attitude is what we are applying to the local government chairman.
What is the fear?
We're not making demands on them.
What is the fear?
The fear is that cult groups will kill you. You can hear, if you listen to a sister radio station, you can hear what's happening in Andoni. Everybody was talking corner. It took people from corners to phone. Because, for instance, this my gentleman here had mentioned that the promises to decentralize government. Why don't we have high courts in the former 10 divisional areas that we used to have? We had 10 divisions.
No, but
I will name them.
There are high costs in virtually all the areas.
Are they there?
They are there.
They are located in that place, working there.
They are there. There are high costs in virtually all the AGS. Is there any AGA?
In Ogoni, there's a high court sitting there. They exist, though, but they sit in.
I'm a lawyer.
Do they sit there?
Do they sit there?
Yeah.
If they sit there, wonderful. The customary courts who are sitting.
They are there.
Lovely.
They are there.
Okay,
we have
then.
High Court, we have Bori, we have Isiobo.
Okay.
They are there. We go to
customary. You go to there. Oh, wonderful. Awesome.
They are there.
Do we have in Eche?
Okay, High Court is sitting in the chair.
Okay. It was a divisional center. Yeah.
It's there.
Where else? Omoko.
There is a High Court there. They are there. Go to LMA, see the one at Nchia. I said we are doing matters in this course.
No, I'm particular about the one in Omok. I said, are they still sitting?
Omok should be sitting, but I've not done any matter there now. No, what I'm saying, I don't know.
What of Bonny?
No, I've not gone to Bonny. Bonny is off the sea. But what I'm saying that the High Court
is part of Potaka.
But at least you're saying that the High Court,
they are there.
Because they have police, they are there. Place with power and everything. So I think there should be a High Court and a customary court, even a magistrate.
No, there are in the chair. We have over 5 customary courts. We have at Ozozo, we have at Omatoro, we have at the Wii. When I say we have, they are there at Ituro.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's commendable.
We have a customary court at Isiobo. It is there. We have LLA is there.
Okay.
And then
we need to know.
At Nchia, it is there.
You know why?
It is there. I'm not speaking grammar now.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing with you. Why the impression came was that they're no longer functioning. Was that the primary health system? Doctors can't because that system has been completely because of insecurity.
Yes, it's not. Yes,
teachers.
No, virtually
because of insecurity.
Like, okay, now.
You just assume that the courts.
And I know some of those courts sit in Port Harcourt.
I know a number of them that sit in Port Harcourt.
There are 1 or 2 instances where the court couldn't continue in the day because of feelings. Yes, but the courts are there. They are there.
No, the courts are there.
No, they are there.
It's not whether they're there or not. The issue. We know they're there.
Good. When I hear they are there.
When I say they are there, I mean they are sitting.
Yeah, some of them are sitting. If you are not sitting, you are not there. Some of them are sitting. Yes. Some of them are not sitting there.
Most of them.
Well, I don't have the stats to know whether most or not, but I know some of them are not sitting there. In any which case, the point comes back to if we're afraid of cult boys. We're afraid to speak to power because we believe that we'll be tackled down.
And the stomach infrastructure. Most people are not willing. That's correct. Most people are not willing to speak up because they want that personal benefit. That's one of the problems we have.
But the question is, they've been expecting since 1999.
They haven't gotten it.
Have they gotten it?
How will it come?
So that he's still stomaching the instruction.
No, it is like there's that I don't know how to put. We have not civilized to a point of thinking that the state is for us. And we are still lacking that we power within this place. So it is lacking, very greatly lacking. That is why you see whatever government does is in order. Most people rather and even those who are being critical are even seen as enemies of government. Because sometimes if you criticize from a point of view that is not biased, and then people still contradict you because they want to use that to benefit from government.
Is the situation the way it is here because of the kind of politics we run here?
Of course.
It is, right?
Yes.
So when the kind of politics we have now, when did we take a turn towards this kind of politics?
When
did we take this turn to the kind of politics that we have now? When did River State get that wrong? At which stage?
Okay.
Which year did we take this turn to this ugly kind of politics?
Okay. Historically, the Rivers people, Rivers people were civil. River State is seen as a civil service state. People concentrate so much on government and think that's why.
You mean right from the beginning?
Yes. We call that. It's the popular saying that River State is a civil service state, and so a lot of us concentrate so much on government, even during the military. A lot of people in the civil service. Now the private sector, you take your position, but the private. That's why the private sector you see in let's say like Abia and Eastern states, you don't see the private sector vibrant here. So a lot of us, that's why when government comes, when politics come, everybody thinks that that's where. So, and then where you think that you are going to get your daily your food,
Your bread and butter.
Yes, you cannot abuse it. And I think
let me disagree with you, sir.
To do so.
Yes. My father was a junior civil servant. Federal civil servant. He grew through the ranks, went back to school and so on. Yeah. So I know that. I remember those days when the military were here, when I will be serving them the star beer. I will serve because at least half glass will reach me. And they will now be gossiping amongst themselves. And can you imagine some boys say we should come to government house? They think we don't have what to do. I remember that. I had several
conversations.
They won't go. Yeah. Now, when Port Harcourt was being established, an industrial area was deliberately planned. Well, growing up, we met industries. Now, when River State was created, Pan-African Bank was purposely created so that we now had to build local capacity, the likes of W. White, OK Sukari, Manila Construction, OCC, Omunike, and so on. So people had things to do. Some of them got government patronages, but there was a real sector. Don't look. What do those people? That name we live.
Michelin.
And so we had capacity, the real sector. What you see in Port Harcourt is what you see in Agidingbi in Lagos.
In Lagos.
Yes. So Port Harcourt was to expand theirs. That's why they created the Ahoda Industrial. So we used to look down on other states like towns like Umuahia, civil servant, Port Harcourt and Calabar, a civil servant town. Port Harcourt wasn't because then the oil sector came in. By under Babangida, it had blossomed. The whole of Transamadi, property prices had gone up. Young people every morning were in about buying things to supply in Transamadi. You were servicing things and so on. But all that started transpiring from 2003. Killed the state. Yes, killed the state. All these things didn't happen by chance. They were deliberate manipulations and creations of those who manage the state. And we have been shouting that we're heading towards the state of worry. That's where we are. We're on our knees.
What's the state of worry?
If you go to worry, you go to Shell Gate, you see it's overgrown with weeds. People are looking for who to buy, to live in their houses. People are not there. If you go and look for fried rice, apart from ShopRite or so, they have there nothing. 7 o'clock, worry is asleep. Yes, that's where it once the competing state towns were Port Harcourt, Warri, Lagos. They were competing for social life. Warri is out. Port Harcourt is on its way there. Yes, the oil majors have left. So automatically those other multiplier effects that we receive, they fly people now from Lagos to the offshore platforms and they go back. So it wasn't. But we have not been thinking.
2003
we have become lazy.
2003 was when you said this.
When in the name of agitation and militancy and people took politics to a new level.
Okay.
Yes, and it has brought us to our knees. And we're still not thinking. We think we're well to do because we're receiving revenue, we're receiving allocations. We're not making provisions and planning.
Maybe they should stop revenue like how they did Lagos.
Yeah.
And Lagos was forced to look inwards.
To look inwards, and we have not done that. Yes. That's why you see, as we speak today, people can't fish because the rivers are polluted and it's unsafe to go out to fish. The fishermen who came last time said they can't even teach their children to swim because it's unsafe to ask them to get into the water. People can't farm in the upland areas.
Because of how polluted it is.
People can't farm. Yes, people can't farm in the upland areas because, so you find that most of our people go to Goja, Calabar and so on, to Kwara, to buy land. Because if you farm, time to harvest, people will come and drive you from the place. People can't do that. So those who are putting down their money to farm can't even do that. So there's no deliberate and conscious plan to create room for people to ventilate and earn an income. That's why you can see this, everybody's eyes towards NDDC, everybody's eyes towards Amnesty, everybody's eyes towards
WK. Is your brother?
Is your brother who is not your brother? That's where we are. Yes. And so our children will eat us up. It's something we've been warning and it will continue.
All right, let me get your thoughts here on this.
Well, I think from the time of Okilo, we saw a very bad style of politics. Politics where I must win. that degeneration began from that era. But it grew higher when North Delhi came into power. There was overpraising and singing and donations here and there, and then so many attention.
The donation was wrong?
What I wouldn't say so if you are generous, but what I'm saying that not much concentration was geared towards to see where how the ratings been done.
Itself.
Yes, the ratings been done, and then that has moved up to what we are seeing now. So because in the times of when why I tended to say to agree that the nature of industrialization we are having with from that time till now is not what a state needs to have. Because have you begun to think that what else has the state done to provide an alternative means of survival apart from civil service? Is there any time the state is thinking of how to bring establishment and then ensure that there is an engagement? Now, that now eroded the effort of the people towards private orientation. It started waning. And then we are suffering it. Because today we cannot point out to one big industry owned by the state or an attempt to do so. So, these issues came up. And within that period, in fact, from the period of Okilo, because we saw what MPN did, and then from that trickle it to when the military came into power and up to the time of Odili, then Rotimi Ameji are now the present governor. So we need to begin to reorganize ourselves and see how we can move away from a government-based dependency to privatization and individual orientation to see how this, and that will give us the strong will to bring agitation so that government can know and realize that they don't exist for themselves, they exist for the citizenry. Because if you do not agitate, if you do not criticize, there shouldn't be any reason why anybody should begin to think of how to develop the area. Because that instead of criticism, you will see praise singing, which is so common and enormous in virtually the existence of this period of time. It was not that much when the first military governor was here and the rest of them. So I think that citizens should wake up and then begin to think of how to be part of government, not be part of government for what you gain personally, but being part of government from bringing constructive criticisms that can begin to enhance the thinking of government.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to open the phone line shortly and get text message. But before we go there, how do we fix this, Emmanuel? How do we get it right? If we know this is when we made the error, how do we rectify it?
The time they mentioned is not even clear to me, because you see all these industrialization and all the rest of them, the Rivers people accepted, and also Rivers people, in fact, Niger Delta killed it. You understand? What we are talking, if you remember, is the brand of politics played here is what killed the whole opportunity. And for me, you talk
that's
about...
That's why I said the brand of politics,
and
when was initiated. And that's
MPN.
Thank you.
That's what
I'm saying now. Now that we've established when it was initiated and how it is the politics that is killing us, how do we fix it? How do we get ourselves back on track?
Okay, let me tell you. It's a very difficult
Or is it not possible?
No, hold on. Let him do talk his own. See, it's a very difficult thing. See, ever since APC started, because you had Okilo NPN, then you had PDP running. Now, they were known that was challenged, anyone that had been running. But ever since APC came in, that is where you see like this spirit of Lagos we are talking about, continuity, is lacking. Now, I don't know how you can say whatever. It's more or less looking like a one-party state now, because the APC the wind has been taken from themselves. And so, that is the only thing that will make it maybe seeming possibility can be placed on it. But I tell you in real terms, so long as any opposition is still the challenging government, it will not be. Government will want everything to go its way. That is the politics in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State. So I don't know how possible it will be. Any other person can say.
We need the viable opposition. We agree.
And we don't have it.
But that's less than 10% of the population. We are saying for this state, for this local government and for Nigeria to move forward, the mass of the people who constitute 90% must begin to ask questions. You don't depend on the political class. They have shown you that they have vested interest. That's why they joined that party. And we must respect that. But we must begin to, the ordinary man who feels that he's not connected to what happens. No, it's not true. We need to re-educate ourselves and remind ourselves that if we don't ask questions, that old woman in the village, that man in that other woman somewhere in Ahoda, things will not improve. You cannot depend on those who, for instance, look at the Chima Okonado's matter. An autopsy, you kill a man, the Nigerian police in this matter, River State Command, is the defendant. Now they carry the autopsy and go and give the defendant. Now the family is begging the defendant. So I beg, the plaintiff is begging the defendant, I beg you give me a copy. That's the condition in which we have found ourselves.
Being a judge in their own
yes.
case.
No. The people who own the Commonwealth must begin to make deliberate demands so that the arrogance of the political class will cease.
I agree with you. Because even when there's a strong opposition.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. That's why I'm asking for the reorganization of even our cultural groups, like the what's that chase? Obakweche, Ijo National Congress. I'm asking for the scrapping of IYC because I would leave it to you. It was relevant at the time.
It's
it needs to be now it needs to be removed and reorganized to be used as what's that word? As a check and to extract services, because IYC never blames management, always blames the supposed oppressor from the north. You can never see them blame the local state government that, look, where is your budget? Where is this? Have you heard John National Congress make any statement? You can't hear. We have the Bonny Improvement Union. Everybody has unions. But what are these unions are? Everybody's pledging loyalty. So you're not even better than the political class.
No, the reason why the political class may not provide that enormous
you take it
because even when they criticize,
I think so. We must realize that nobody will give.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody will give.
Even when they
you have
criticize,
to take.
the convention is that they are criticizing because they are not the party in power. So if you not divest that why they are criticizing, the bulk of this criticism and the bulk of this organization should come from the masses. It is only the willingness of the masses and the organization and the aggregation of these masses that
I'll beg you to change the word masses to the people.
The people, that's the masses.
No, the people are not the masses. People, human beings.
Yes, because the human beings constitute the masses. Because the political class are part of the elite group. They are. So the people are the fulcrum.
We don't have a middle class again.
But the people must be empowered before they can speak.
How do you empower?
No, you see.
Empower how?
In the past, we have reverse people that are artisans. You know, the people that are bicycle repairers, some are carpenters. Today, you won't see those.
Let me remind.
Everybody is now following the.
Let me remind you. You are talking of empowering, and you mentioned that artisan. You remember that after the war, there was no lights in Port Harcourt. All of us had lights in Port Harcourt and Krokro. If you remember, in this Port Harcourt, there was no light. Every road pothole day, water no day to drink. I normally trek from Port Johnson and go all the way to UTC to fetch. And I must fetch all that before school open from railway. So that was one of our worst cholera. Now I'm coming. When we they talk this thing, it was one of the worst points of our lives. Even as you're walking, sometimes you see dead bodies and corpses. There was no light. There were no people. People were returning back from the war. Captain Lechi Amadi was rehabilitated in my house. Late Colonel Long John. All these people who were in 3rd Marine Command in my house. I was there when they shaved them, burned their clothes. We started from the ground. Except soap and salt were the most important things in our lives then. If we could pick up ourselves, now there's so much money from God. Dollars, you didn't work for it. Nobody's working for it. It just comes. All I'm asking you that this your giving faculty on your deck. Use your head. Just know what is wrong from right. You're looking for empowerment. Nobody's going to give you.
That means
again, in knowing what is wrong and right, it depends on the group of people, because I understand the circumstances sometimes. graze up the areas, so you really can't tell coherently like
The
another person.
circumstances.
If the circumstances exist here, where you've got poverty, you've got people who feel they're marginalized, if you've got ill health, and all of these are concentrated in the people, you can't ask the same group of people to know what is wrong and
I will
right.
take you back. During the I went to Uniport here. I was here when Umochen was burned down. Did we keep quiet? I left university. Do you know how many times weekends when people we're going to Zaria by road just to go and sit down and listen to the likes of Patriwima and Bala Usman them. But so we didn't take things lightly with the military. You think it was easy? You know how many times we were flogged? It wasn't when Okontima was rioting in River State.
You know, and I think again, you will have been because you at that time and your group understood that this was yours. If it was yours for the taking and you had to find a way to get it. You mentioned something
like
earlier on.
This your fine blue dress there. So a recruit will just come down, slap you, and flog you mercilessly. Nobody will say anything.
You mentioned something earlier on, Mr. Evels. You said that, well, you can't challenge the people when you don't believe that you own the state or the state is yours or that they work for you. And I think that at the point where you said you were going all the way to Zaria, it was because you knew these people are imposing in a place where they're not. That's the military.
But
I don't think that the people
were
here
comfortable.
understand.
Let me remind you, we were very comfortable in Uniport here. They make my bed. They change my beddings. If I don't like it, I shout. They change it, yeah. But despite the comfort we had, I am telling you that we too stood and confronted the authorities whenever the opportunity came. I remembered when when Buhari came into power in 84, in 85. When the last president ran away, the girls in Nigeria who were university students, because most of them were vice presidents of NANS in the students' union groups in most of the universities, they led the campaign and we shut down the country. We were comfortable in the universities.
Emmanuel, you
when Dr. Robinson said empowerment, I agree with him. Despite whatever people think you people are challenging. Let me ask you a question. Now, when you said in Uniport you were always maybe going to Zaria or wherever,
because you were comfortable.
Good. Were you trekking?
We hired the bus there.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Because there was something to pay the bus with.
And somebody changing your bed.
But the changing the bed, the money, you see, first of all, don't get it wrong that my father gave me plenty money. No,
not your father.
Yes, we were not getting. Look, what it means that we went out of our way to raise money to do these things we wanted to do. Every generation had its challenges. I will start with my grandfather. My grandfather became he's an MBA man, but found his way to America by 1940. Had his PhD in law in America. He wasn't sent by his parents. Then they taught along the West Coast. They taught in Nigeria, went to the West Coast, got onto the ships. Every generation
so are you saying,
fought the British.
Are you saying we're being too lazy?
Yes, mentally. Every generation has a challenge. If you don't rise up to that challenge, now it is COVID-19. You wait for empowerment. Someone to appoint commissioner you want, and people are quiet.
That's the point I was making, that our young people must
they're waiting for Wole Soyinka at the age of 90.
Must take up.
I don't think we need any empowerment to agitate.
Even if it's
not
so that they can be empowered.
And it does change the value system. All right. The value system has completely changed.
Okay.
You know, in those periods,
I was trying to get back to status quo, remove ourselves from status quo. I understand that there's so much wrong already that's existing, and why that wrong perhaps may linger. But I really want a solution to the problem. What can we do now?
What we can do now is to organize ourselves and then take away our thinking from the crumbs that come from government. Because the problem is that the order of the day is that whatever you get, no matter how you get it, you are praised. The value system has changed. We need a complete reorientation of what is right and what is wrong. That's why when he was speaking, I was wondering, what do you think is right is wrong before the eyes of others. And they come up to tell you that, look, what you're saying is quite wrong, even though they know it's right.
Very true.
So we need to have that value reorientation.
Okay.
We begin to first and foremost appreciate what is proper. Majority of the people here are dancing towards what they believe in. And the nutrition the people are giving to them and the crumbs they expect to get.
All right.
Not independently.
It's 12 after 11. I just got 15 minutes for our callers and I've got to give it to them. Good morning, Emma, Annie, and all the guests in the studio. Security is our priority and everybody's involved, even though it's the responsibility of government to protect life and property. We must not joke or play politics with security. When these bandits overwhelm the security at one point and it becomes obvious that the security structure is jettisoned, the people were chocked up in insecurity in our community and it became uncontrollable and so disturbing. The people now resort to self-help. At some point, the ideal of engaging the local vigilante now as OSPAC emanated due to the failure of police and soldiers to bring peace to the community. And now these boys are doing extremely well. We can now sleep with our eyes closed. Thus, government should decentralize security. I guess this is the issue we had for opinion poll earlier. This is from Oduma Sonny Chijoke from LLA responding to that issue we had of Kaduna State. Annie, please ask Eugene Abels, who owns Port Harcourt International Airport Hotel that is dead. Is it state or federal government? Big Sam from Port Harcourt. Eugene, I should ask you, who owns...
was the River State government.
All right.
Used to be between, I think it came to River State government. It was supposed to be owned by both states.
Good morning, Ernest from Oji. Congratulations to the governor. He has succeeded in changing River State to Port Harcourt State. You're asking how we got here? It is because of politics. The politics we do here. Like you always say, it will take years to have democracy in the Niger Delta.
Of course.
Please ask the men in your studio whether Lagos State constructed Third Mainland Bridge, Ikorodu Road, Oshodi Apapa Road, CMS, Ahmadu Bello, etc. It was the federal government that laid the foundation for Lagos. Who laid the foundation for Port Harcourt? So the idea of comparing Lagos to Port Harcourt is wrong. Please compare Lagos to Abuja. This is from Tonya.
Please remind him that we had a formidable, we've stated it here, foundation for River State, yeah.
Good morning, Annie and the guests in the studio. Let me first appreciate the expertise and know-how of your guests. About the situation in Kaduna, I want to agree with Mr. Emmanuel Ndukwe on trying to negotiate because, like one of your guests said, the gross unwillingness of government in place to end this menace is a great disservice and wickedness to the people. Why I seem to agree with the fact that the unwillingness of this government during this period of the past administration, it was discovered that one major problem the armed forces had was a shortage of arms and ammunition and great response. The government moved in swiftly to begin purchasing these hardwares and others. A good example is that in a few weeks of postponing the election, the government forces delivered heavy blows on the insurgents and elections were able to be held in those states. But now we know the armed forces are understaffed. Why not do the needful? Please, Kaduna should do whatever they can. I am Ugo Chukwu from Elekaya. And this here says, please note that Madam Jonah is the originator of the political confusion in River State. But for her, River State will have been peacefully moving on with the original plan of secession, one zone handing over to the other. EB. Is it the zone handing over that was the original plan or developing the state that is the original plan? Annie, good morning, and the guests building another flyover at Jare Junction. Secondus, the fight has started. Kilimanjaro major sales outlet will be pulled down. There is a name called Pabod, which were taken from the major cities in the state. Yeah. Pabod means Port Harcourt, Ahoda, Braz, Ogoni, and Degema. Our master plan has long been abandoned. Even the greater Port Harcourt city and the Rainbow City has been abandoned by this government as well. To Adum, you send this from Port Harcourt. And I don't get why the Rainbow City. I mean, those buildings there, what's going on? You could easily just rent that out to people.
Exactly.
All right. I guess they're waiting for some emergency before that can happen. Let me get to the phone line 0810-951-0951 or 0817-000951. Those numbers will bring you right here into the studio. Let's get your name and where you're calling from.
Annie, good morning. This is Emeka. I'm calling you from Owerri.
Emeka from Owerri. Good to have you. Good morning.
Annie, the other time when I said about this RFI, what is it called? Instruction report or whatever.
Yes.
Hello.
You, when the assignment was given to you, you accepted it. You collected the money. You did the job. And you submitted it. Have you had anywhere in the report on news or newspaper?
We're not talking. That's not what we're talking about. Sorry. El-Rufai submitted his whatever on restructuring and dropped it. That's not even
That was the terms of agreement.
Is he the one to implement it?
I don't understand.
Does it lie?
Please ask the Abonima in the studio who says IYC shouldn't criticize the federal government to mention one major project in the Niger Delta where the resources come from by the current government. He's only political. I belong to IYC. I'll continue to criticize the federal government. This is from Tonya. Tonya, he didn't say you shouldn't criticize the federal government as at when due, but he says, are you criticizing the managers of the affairs here in the Niger Delta too, where you've got majority of or where you've got Ijaw people based? They also need to accuse their own handlers and leaders here of the misappropriation of funds, of the ineptitude in when it comes to governance and everything else that has brought about the wrath that we see in this region. And that's what he was trying to say. Blame federal government where you have to, but also remember that there are people who you need to blame. Hello, Today95.1 FM. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Annie.
Yes, morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I can go from Patagonia.
All right, go ahead.
You know, people who are complaining about maybe building 3 flyover at a time or the 4th one. You know, when the man took over government, he said he's going to develop River State. I believe that when Port Harcourt is developed, understand, you have an other government that will come in. The money they used to build that monorail, they used to build this flyover, this one is building now. But they refuse to do it. I'm back on an elephant project that can never get see the light of the day. So they should support the man in any way, so that, let me say, Port Harcourt is developed. When you come to Port Harcourt is not there. Then you conclude that other region in River State, that is how the place is. So let him focus on Port Harcourt. Maybe if another government enters, the person can focus on any area that need to be developed, that need to see development we are seeing in Port Harcourt today. Understand? Okay, what if he decided not to do anything? People will still complain. As they said during the first tenure that he didn't do anything. He just patching road and completing the project committee started. So they should not criticize the man concerning the project going on in the state.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, got your thoughts there. Thank you very much. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Annie, good morning.
Morning, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, Ude calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Ude, go ahead.
Let me comment about flyover, second flyover building in GRA Junction.
Fourth, actually.
Okay, it's fourth one, all right. The issue is that Nigeria system does not develop where they didn't come from. If you check what is going on in the federal government, it's the same act. So there is no way for to be condemning me to what he's doing in his own time. Tomorrow, another people may come in, they can develop that. That is Nigeria system. So people shouldn't get it angry in that way. That is Nigeria for you. And secondly, I want to say something about, is it El-Rufai that said that whatever, that they will not negotiate with the terrorists and the bandits?
Yes.
My dear sister, El-Rufai 2003 to 2007, what he did in Abuja, is it not what exactly what terrorists is doing? So people shouldn't get it. 2023 is coming. He's now started campaigning. There will be a way for him because Nigeria is just selection and the 50%. So people should know it that he is there campaigning for 2023.
All right.
He has already started crying. Don't worry, he will also go down now and begging. That is Nigeria.
All right. Thank you. We got your thoughts. This here says, Annie, I have been saying it, that the problem of this country is the people living in it, not the politicians. Mind you, Annie, I wrote that in caps. He wrote politicians in caps. Pele Lofte, you send this from Umuosi in Isialangwa, South Abia State. It says, Annie, why are you throwing this bullet to Ima? In fact, let me answer you. In Abia State, we follow up with Abia Plan, which is to loot, and steal. Even these people that call themselves indigenous people of Biafra are here making unnecessary noise against the federal government, but they praise these people that call themselves politicians. Imagine a person like Ainaya Baribe that have stayed in the Senate for almost all their entire lives of their political career that cannot show you anything they've done. And their likes are the ones that they listen to. Well, that's still from Epele Loveday from Isialangwa. Annie and crew, good morning. Please, I don't think there is any basis for the comparison of Lagos with any other state in Nigeria. Lagos was the federal capital and is still now the commercial capital of Nigeria. It houses the headquarters of all the international companies. So it has the resources, and the federal government has put in much in Lagos development-wise. Aaron is sent from Abba. Greetings, my distinguished authorities in the studio. Firstly, let me appreciate you all for your brilliance, but in particular, I'm always pleased when Mr. Abel talks. Therefore, I will comment only on River State. For me, I think the leadership of the state should think inwards to do some level of expansion to other rural areas for development to spread across and not just in the already developed areas. Thanks, and to have a pleased day. That's from Honorable Malone. And this is any old Asian coal that will stand in my way, I will clear them on my way. I don't know what that means there. Any bad governance and government failure to provide the necessary social safety net to people have given birth to insurgency and banditry, which is now snowballed to a fast-growing industry. The present situation is self-inflicted. El-Rufai and others have no option but to negotiate. This may just be a negative way of giving back to the people. James Sopongwa, you send that in from Ozoba in Port Harcourt. And everybody in the studio, good morning. God bless you for this topic. And I want to add that the state government can build an adjustable bridge in between Eagle Island and Mbodoya to open up that area and eliminate slums in that area, which is a blind spot in the city that creates a crime enclave. The adjustable bridge is to control movement of cars, humans, and vessels at different times and maintain security. I am Adeyimika in Port Harcourt. Well done, all of you. Please, Annie, you should help us beg Governor Wike to allow Jare Junction the way it is. He should rather dualize Rumo-Adoalo Market off Rumola Junction. Also decentralize the development across the state. Author, you sent that in. The Unity Road that is supposed to link NGO headquarters, Ungo headquarters, and Andoni local government area to Port Harcourt is yet to be completed 21 years after commencement. Even the quality of job is too poor. Is this how to decongest Port Harcourt? This is from Awaji Melek. Good morning, my sister and guests. I am Sonny from One. There is no follow-up of government policy in River State. Did you know that all the 4 government universities are situated in Port Harcourt and Obiakpo? Very soon, we'll call it Ikwere State. Another here says, good morning, Annie. My name is Promise Walker from Limini. Annie, that man with you in the studio should listen to Ima Ndukwe, not arguing because he was born with a golden spoon. He should not compare himself with others. Who is coming with Aluta Continua? If you try it now, you will be chased out of school. Things are falling apart, only to apply for gate man in this war, in this country. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Well, I lost that connection. Do call back. Annie, I said this on this platform yesterday. I will subscribe to a benevolent dictator rather than these malevolent and mean-spirited Democrats. Even though we have reservations for the military, the infrastructure we have here in River State that have stood the test of time were planted by the military. We have our politicians. What have our politicians done from 1999 till date? A police commissioner who was a one-time military administrator in River State conceived the idea of school-to-land program and animated saying, young people acquired skills and are earning a living with it today. Friday, Olu, you send that in from Choba. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Good morning, Annie.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Ahusi Chima. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, Annie, I think building another flyover in GRA Junction is a good thing. After all, the capital city, they have to receive more development than every other rural community. But, Annie, we still have some communities that are yet to connect to Port Harcourt. You understand? Now, my community, we are yet to have roads, just roads. Then a governor is a flyover everywhere is good. But remember those communities that do not have roads, who their means of livelihood are predominantly farmers who have to sell their product through a road that is accessible. You understand? It is good what he's doing, but he should not forget other communities. That is what we're talking about. You understand, Annie? So I don't know if you get me very well. We need a development road to get to some rural community so they too can feel the impact of the government in their various areas, in their various localities. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Got your thoughts. Good morning, Annie and the guests. It's very annoying that these bandits wrote a letter informing them that they were coming on the said date. The information got to the government and the security agencies, and true to their words, they came, and the government was not proactive. They only have intelligence and proactivity when people are about to protest against the government. What a country. The governor cannot give orders to the police or the military, so all the blame should go to where it belongs, which is the president. He is the commander-in-chief of armed forces, except he's willing to give up some of his powers to the governors to be able to command the police, and which will mean true federalism. If 51 or more persons are killed in any country in a day, that country will declare national mourning, and President Buhari will send that country a condolence message to agree with them. Yet, here it's a daily occurrence. So that's an irony. No negotiation. The money you would give to the terrorists in the course of negotiation, use it to buy arms, use it to establish industries. When these boys have something to bring them income, most of them wouldn't be indulging in crimes. And America doesn't negotiate with any terrorists. That's on its home soil. They may do so trying to help other countries where they have interest, but not that you're on American soil killing Americans and they negotiate with you. North America, they will kill you no matter who you are and how many you are. It is, this guy sounds like he's with the American army. It's only when the people
It's a
try.
good article. It's a good article.
I know the way he said they will find you, they will kill you. I said he's right as if he has been with the American army and he's been part of that camp.
Who knows?
I don't know, really. It's only when people try to protest against this government that they have the power or flex its muscles to clamp down on us, shooting and killing citizens without arms who are trying to force them to do the right things. Udo, you send that in from Udo. You send that in, I beg your pardon, from Port Harcourt. Your name is Udo. Annie, tell Governor Wike to think of a fifth bridge at Pepperoni. Eugene Abels made my day. This is Kingsley. Annie, I greet you. Kaduna will not stop unless the northern elites stop them. Please, the killers are not bandits. They're terrorists. God will save us. Obona, you send that in from Port Harcourt. And this says here, you give your fellow PDP members more time to talk than others. Why? Dandos. Why? Please, fellow PDP members in the house, raise up your hand. The police in River State has failed both in investigating and prosecuting crimes. Either should parade. Okay, I don't think this is for me. I didn't speak about that now. Please pray for... Oh, okay, no, it is. If they should parade the baby factory without evidence and its operatives, what stops them from parading the officers behind the death of Chima and the indiscriminate arrest? All right, we got that too from you. This here says, please pray for... Annie, good morning. It's unfortunate that the type of government we have in River State is a mediocre kind of thing. Do you know that the Ogocha Eleme Obibo Road will just open up the area and connect Ndoki people? Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Annie, good morning.
Morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Dika in Port Harcourt.
All right, Dika, good to have you. Go ahead.
My greetings to your guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Mr. Abel, welcome.
Mr. Abel just stepped out of the building, but I'm sure he's still listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay, it's okay. Responding to Air Rufai position, for me, I do not support any negotiation with terrorists. I think that terror should be fought. In fact, terrorism should be fought with equal measure of terror. Since Boko Haram started, how many Boko Haram members have been executed? How many of their sponsors have been fished out and punished as it is necessary? And you are going now to negotiate with them, just like some of your guests have said, from a position of weakness, not a position of strength. How many of them are you going to negotiate with? I differ with the Chief Ndukwe on this issue. Nigeria should continue to fight war with the terrorists. No negotiation.
All right, then. Okay.
And I was even expecting Barrister Jerome, when he was bringing the concept of Leviathan, to take it to the logical conclusion. Hobbes recommended Leviathan because the condition at that time in England was in a state of civil war. And he was recommending absolute government to tackle the situation. He said it is only force that can deal with anarchy, like the type we are facing now. In fact, the man that have written Prince, Machiavelli, also said that because of the Italy of his time, where the country was divided, he now said what we need is a lawgiver. All these things boils down to one
The
thing.
Prince and discourses.
We need a dictatorship that can deal with the situation.
Okay.
The president has a weak political will to deal with the situation. Coupled with the constraint of a democratic process, why should Boko Haram members be taken to ordinary court. And some of them will say, if you give me chance, I will still do the same thing. And nothing happened to them. I have always said, if you resurrect Abacha today, the condition in this country will be quite different.
All right.
Because we need to fish out those people, execute them.
All right, then.
Before we can talk of democratic process.
We got your thoughts on this. Thank you very much. We've got to let you go because of timing, but thank you. Annie, good morning. Annie, please, what stops Rivers government from building a flyover in Oyibo Junction? Annie, do you know that Oyibo accommodates more people than even Port Harcourt City itself? Go to Akwa Ibom, you see cities like Eket, Uyo. Please, apart from Port Harcourt, mention one city again. I even expect him to go to Greater Port Harcourt. Ifeanyi Chukwunwodo, you send that in. Annie, good morning. We cannot negotiate with terrorists, bandits, etc. because if you do, the worst will happen. Have you seen the kind of weapon these guys carry in their vehicles, the IT gadgets they use, the training and their discipline? These groups have big white government supplying them these equipments. Don't be surprised some of our politicians are earning so much from the crisis. Annie, how many of our police or military know how to operate Android phones with all the apps in it? Android phone. Annie, Nigeria is a failed state and it's beginning to crack. I'm shook. What do you mean? They know how to operate Android phones. Annie, please tell Mike to remove the spare parts dealers at Ikoku, electoral dealers, building material dealers at Mile 3 and timber market at Mile 2. Port Harcourt will be decongested automatically. Big Sam, you send that in from Port Harcourt. And this here says, so in the 70s and 80s, people went to Zaria to learn how to challenge the military. But today, young Rivers youth are calling themselves Malians and turning themselves to Agberos. What a life. Ernest, you sent that in from Woji. The last call for today. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Mr. Bright from Liverpool.
All right, good to have you. Go ahead.
Yes. RFI is saying he will stand it. And some of us say he should. We got amnesty to court it here in Rivers State. How has some of those who were granted amnesty in less than 18 months committed crimes that got international attention? The Bongwanis and so many given amnesty. Today, where are they? My brother Jerome Ekoro in the studio should know Sanyamu was a caretaker chairman. He settled some of the boys who were disturbing in the jail. Thereafter, you granting bandits, granting bandits amnesty or negotiating with them is a kind of giving other persons the leverage to go into and to get government attention. So I believe that they shouldn't. If there is nothing they can do, they should go all out with them, and then even if it means violating some of the war crimes that are nationally,
they should violate it.
Yes, and then on the issue of Rivers State Governor trying another flyover at Zaria Junction, from Garrison to Rumola is strictly 1 kilometer. You have a flyover at Garrison, you have at Rumola, and another one in between, 3 flyovers in 1 kilometer. And then you check community, the density of those living along that road is just nothing they need to do.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Connect other routes would decongest the traffic from GRA. Evo Road should have from Aji down to Evo Road and Waterline. Then at the back of the new AP surface, you can operational route from there. Where you have the INEC office, the River State House,
yes,
and other things, you can make a road that will take traffic down to the stadium road.
All right, then. We got your thoughts. Thank you very much. This is here. Our government wants to equal Amechi's record on flyovers. Good Ajib Junction, Elios, Woji, Element Junction, and Obikwiri, all by Rotimi Amechi, so he's trying to catch up. This is from Emmy. And this here says, Andy, Governor Wike said he has approved 2 sitting faculties of RUS in Ahoda, but 4 years now, nothing on ground. Nothing is happening in Ahoda by this government. This is from Johnson. And that's the last text message we can take for the day. We've got to go. Dr. Robinson Olulu.
Thank you.
Quick words. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Annie, and Nigerians. Obviously, I think the issues have been trashed. I think all we do now is to put them into practice. That's all.
Okay. Dr. Robinson Mondo Olulu, Head Department of Economics, University of Port Harcourt. Thank you so much. And then Honorable Jerry Chukwuemeka, okay?
The federal government and indeed National Assembly should struggle to see that police is removed from the exclusive list to that of concurrent list. If possible, the residual matters, so that security can be tackled a little bit, because the over concentration of security, especially with police and arms on the center, is a major issue. So people need to live first and foremost before they can begin to think of doing any other thing.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Honorable Jeremy Chukwuemeka Kerry, Esquire, public affairs analyst and a legal practitioner based here in Port Harcourt. And this last message here on WhatsApp says, Annie and the guest, good morning. Please, Annie, tell Mr. Abel to make very visible his suggestions about the necessary bridges for Port Harcourt to expand and also cause different parts of the river state to be easily accessible. When he does so, it will become a state discourse, and those who can implement it, if they have a river state interest, will do so. This is from Eregoba Ibi. Emmanuel Ndukwe?
Well, El-Rufai said he cannot negotiate with criminals. Now, himself, his hands are tied. Federal government is also under stress. Their hands are tied. Now, leave the flank for people to be dying, maybe by choice of the bandits.
Leave the flank for those whose hands are not tied. We've got to go. Thank you so much for being part of the show. We'll do this again tomorrow. Do join us. Entertainment Express comes up next. I am Annie Abdul Salam.
Wake up. It's a lovely day out there.
You've been listening to Today's Quest here on Today 95.1.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Join us next time, weekdays from 6 to 11 a.m. on Today 95.1.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM. Every day, every hour. When the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM. This is Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
You got a fetish for my love. Been waiting for a lifetime for you.
Listen to Entertainment Today
Every weekday
at 11:30 a.m.
And I'm so I don't even mind. Every weekday
at 11:30 a.m.
Only on Today 95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
You got a fetish for my love. Been waiting for a lifetime for you.
Listen to Entertainment Today
Every weekday
at 11.
That way you did, they make me dead happy. I'm falling for you long time, yeah, yeah, yeah.
no get joy. I will be loving. I see nothing bigger than you.
Okay. Kiss Daniel and Adekunle Gold Jury there. My God, that song is just super amazing. I already see the way you're vibing to it already.
Like, I mean, like, it's Kiss Daniel, and I like the guy, and it's also Adekunle Gold, so like, wonderful heat.
Well, guys, welcome to the show today. It's Entertainment Today with your favorite boy, Dave Roberts, on your premium talk news and sports radio station, Today95.1 FM. And before I introduce him, I just want to clear it out there. Like, I've paid my debt. Like, I don't owe this man anything.
Okay, my name is Ajayi Boloatife. You're a guy on radio.
Just let
Dave
them know.
knows me shawarma. I'm going to say this out there. He's been with me shawarma for like almost a year now. Guy, how far now?
But like yesterday, what happened? What happened yesterday? Let them know.
I'm not going to say what happened yesterday. But you can't compare that to shawarma, my guy.
Oh my God. But by the way, guys, happy birthday to you. If today is your birthday, if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. You are celebrating with Camila Cabello. Do you remember the song? Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, she first appeared as a member of the group Fifth Harmony. Yes. When they won the X Factor, they finished top 3 in the X Factor series. And then she went on to do that song in 2017, Havana, which turned out to be number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 chart. And it also went on to be platinum 7 times also too. So the song is a very big song for her. And also happy birthday
You know what? I want to say this one myself.
Please go ahead.
Happy birthday to the king. They call him Oluwaye in Lagos, like generally in the Southwest. They call him Oluwaye Fuji. His name is King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal.
The Fuji guy.
The ultimate, the Fuji lord, the Fuji king, you understand? You get the vibe.
Like I'm doing the beatbox thing.
And like this man
mouth.
is amazing. Like his song is, I mean, he made me fall in love with Fuji music. Ordinarily, I thought Fuji music was just for like thugs, and I used to think Fuji music was, like, that's what people would make you want to believe that.
Like the whole Brother Shaggy thing.
Yeah, something like that. But like this man just carried Fuji music on his shoulders, and like made it his own. Like it's very rich.
Yes.
One of the richest Fuji
I saw there, like he's arguably one of the richest musicians in Nigeria and Africa as a whole too. So like big ups and congratulations, by the way, to Bucci. Yeah, the flatmate.
Bucci to the FM.
No, not Bucci. No,
okay.
Now.
Really? I don't know, man.
Where did that come from?
Okay,
the flatmate guy, like the comedian Bucci. Oh. Yes, he just got a baby. Just welcome a baby boy.
Did you just say she?
He.
Oh, okay.
No, Bucci, anywhere you are, we're not talking about you.
Congratulations to you, brother.
He just welcomed a bouncing baby boy. Yesterday, the 2nd of March 2020. He went on to say, join us, celebrate God for the birth of my son. He now mentioned the wife's name at Ruki Oche. I love you, baby. You did it again as a true Hebrew woman. Mother and child are great. Father calling out debtors to come and pay up after party.
You just have to put the joke in.
Oh my God.
Lots of people don't know this, but like Bucci has been, the guy's been in the industry for
a very long time.
I mean, like since the days of Nights of 1,000 Laugh.
Yes.
Where we had the CDs and everything.
Yes. And I like the merger with Basketball.
With Basketball. The brother's doing good. Is in the flatmates as well?
Yes, he is. He is. And congratulations to Kanye West baby. She's sort of stepping into her father's shoes, you know.
Why would you say that?
She just recently dropped some lines at the recent concluded Paris Fashion Week show.
Okay.
Yeah. She went on to, perform one of Kim Kardashian said it was one of the lines she wrote, and North eventually stole it from her.
Kim Kardashian writes lines now.
I don't know. When you live and stay and eat
with Kanye West,
who would not teach you? You would automatically become a rapper like overnight. Okay, she gave a surprise performance at her dad's Yeezy session, as a dad's Yeezy season in Paris. and she came out to do a very, very, very scintillating performance, and that is very, very, very good for her. Also, Femi Fani Kayode has joined Nollywood.
What did you just say?
Okay, that came as a shocker to
somebody else. I'm trying to remember now. Dino. Was it Dino
Yes,
that was in the movie?
he was in the movie too.
Okay, now I'm getting confused. What
And not
happened?
just Dino, I think a governor too is in the movie too.
A governor?
Yes. It's all like, see, this year everybody's doubling their hustle. Like, Allah, double your hustle. No time for, what's that name? Yes. He said, and I quote, I honor the privilege of joining some of Nollywood's greats like Larry Cold Sweat, Obi, Odijemba, Titi Temple on last Saturday's making of the movie Silent Prejudice, okay? And
that was the name of the movie.
Yeah, Silent Prejudice. And then he said the set was gruesome and the experience wasn't funny at all. Like, he had fun, but he said being a thespian is no mean feat. Like, it's really,
it's a lot of work.
Yes, a lot of work to get these movies out there. Like, he's now seen the effort put in
by some of our actors.
Yes. So
that's cool. You know, like, it's funny we have so many politicians now trying to go into movies. Does this mean that they just really have the love for movies, or does this also mean that they are just really great actors generally?
Or
like,
does
they
this
just
mean
come to Nigerians and they act, so like it's a natural thing?
Or
to them.
does this mean
like,
the hustle is changing? Like, politics alone can't fend for your whole family.
Well, can't say.
But Nigerian politicians should be, they shouldn't be bothered
very
at all.
soon you'll be watching me in your cinemas and like CDs and
But
all
like
of that,
likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger, like he was a politician.
That's different. It was a movie man first. It was an actor first. Then he became a politician. And when he was done with office, he came back to acting. That I would understand. Desmond Elliott, movie producer first. Then he became a politician. I would understand. But you being a politician first and then suddenly appearing in movies and all of that, it's quite, it's confusing and it's amazing at the same time.
It's quite good. It's quite good for the fact that you want to try out a new sphere of life. You might have had this thing in you all the while, but for some reasons you didn't have the opportunity to put it out there. So like, I think it's a great idea for them to try out new fits also. Tenny has also come out to say that she will be collaborating with her sister Nini Ola very soon.
Oh, finally!
I can't wait to hear that.
People have been saying, Tenny, when would you have been collaborating with other acts, other people, other artists? Like, when would you collaborate with Nini? Oh my god! Like, people don't know how much I love Nini Ola. She just has that vibe.
She has that vibe, and she has this genre of her own. Like, she has created that niche.
Like, she created that niche for just herself, and like only her. I would want to believe that only her could jump on a beat. Like, she has just the flow and everything that she needs. And it would be really great to see her and Tenny, cook up something for everyone. Like, to be great music.
I just can't wait for that to drop. She also made this known when she had that interview with Ebuka.
Okay.
When she said Nini Ola is the introverted one and the one that
Nini Ola is introverted.
Yeah,
she doesn't appear introverted in a video. She appears like
loud and crazy one.
Yeah,
Nah, Tenny is the one who is loud and crazy. She also went into
I'm not saying Tenny isn't loud and crazy. I'm saying Nini Ola as well appears loud and crazy. Like, you want to see her music videos and the way she dresses and the appeal and everything. Like, she just has this vibe about her that, Nini Ola the babe. But of course now Tenny even uploads videos on Instagram and social media that shows that lets you know, okay, this is one.
She said I'm the Jaga one on in the family. Okay, so guys, that's how much we could take for the stories. But as you all know, today is Waka Stay Tuesday, so we'll be sampling one very nice joint.
Waka Stay.
Okay, you know the drill. You call us up. The numbers to call are 0817 0000951 or 0810-951-0951. You check out the song. If you like it, you say stay. If you do not like it, you say waka. As simple as that. You kick it out like it never happens here again.
You don't hear the song again.
So the joint is by Lawrence Mazi. The song is Idema. So we're just going to be sampling that right now, okay?
Because you love me so, I've come to give you praise. Oh, you came and died for me and gave me victory. Chineke midima. For the many, many things you do, you deserve my many, many worship. Many, many praises you.
Okay, so what do you think about the song, Bolu?
Okay, first of all, I had to ask what Idima means. And I was told it means thank you, God.
Yes,
and
thank you.
That's amazing. And then like he has the voice.
He has the voice, yeah. I like the song.
It's a he, right?
Yes,
okay, he's
Lawrence.
a gospel act and he's really doing great. He has a very nice sound. Like, he just suits your soul.
You know.
Worship God.
Okay.
So for me, it's definitely
a stay, right?
Yeah, for me.
That's not left with us. Only here. Like, if you want to hear the song, if you think the song is nice, call us up right now. Tell us. The numbers to call are 0810-9510951. Again, 0810-9510951 or 0817 0000951. Again, 0817 0000951. Meanwhile,